Welcome, Lumineers and fans of the happiest card game on earth. My name's Janty. You've just been putting the inkwell along with another infinite combo, perhaps our first truly infinite combo in Lorcana. So I guess this is part 3 in what is now a series where we cover all of the lore combos in the game, playable or not. And I won't make you wait with bated breath anymore. This one is not, unfortunately. But as I said before, I am fascinated by infinite combos in card games, so I'm going to do my best to keep documenting them here. This one is noteworthy because I think it is actually the first truly infinite one we have. The first couple that we've looked at do require your opponents to have a certain board state, whether that be something with resist 2 or just enough to get you to 20 lore. But this one can have your opponents do absolutely nothing. Unfortunately, it requires your opponent to do absolutely nothing because it's very hard to get set up. But if nothing else than a thought experiment, let's take a look. It requires 4 cards in total, 3 of those cards requiring 2 copies of them for 7 cards total, and you're going to be doing it in Amethyst Amber. It's a Sword in the Stone, the Lion King mashup, using a single new card from Into the Inklands, a 2-costed uninkable location in Amber with 7 willpower, 1 passive lore, and a move cost of 2. Pride Lands, Pride Rock. With the ability We Are All Connected, characters get +2 willpower while here, and Lion Home. If you have a prince or a king character here, you pay 1 less to play characters. So we can completely ignore the We Are All Connected part. It's that second bit, the pseudo lantern, that we're going to be interested in here. Now, interestingly, the way this is worded means that this won't stack. If you have multiple princes or kings on Pride Lands, it doesn't make cards get cheaper and cheaper. But you can have multiple instances of Pride Lands, each of those having a prince or a king on them, and they'll all then stack the ability. So you're going to require 2 copies of Pride Lands on the board, and then 2 princes or kings on top of them as well. Your cheapest, easiest, and most thematic option is Simba Protective Cub, a 2-costed inkable 2/3 for 1 lore, Storyborn hero prince with Bodyguard, a common card from the first chapter. So I'm not going to go through turn by turn how these get down, because honestly you can kind of do this in any order you like, it doesn't matter, you're never going to play this. But on turn 5, I guess, you're going to want to have 2 copies of Pride Lands down, 2 copies of Simba Bodyguard down, and both of them at a Pride Lands each. You might not even be able to do that by turn 5. I haven't actually bothered doing the math on this one. Then you're going to play down a 4-costed inkable 1/5 for 1 lore in Merlin Shapeshifter, Storyborn mentor sorcerer with Battle of Wits. Whenever one of your other characters is returned to your hand from play, this character gets +1 lore this turn. This is a rare card from set 2 and is obviously part of the Merlin Madam Mim bounce package, but just never saw play due to how slow it was compared to the real pacey tempo shifts of Madam Mims and the smaller Merlins. So once you've got your Pride Lands down, your Simbas sat upon them, and Merlin on the board ready to quest, the last thing you need on the board is a Madam Mim snake, or at least something you can bounce with a Madam Mim snake that you're going to have in your hand. You need 2 of these out to make a perfect loop. Madam Mim snake on the board, a second one comes from your hand and bounces the first one back, making Merlin Shapeshifter gain an extra lore before he quests. You can then just keep repeating that process with Madam Mim costing 0, getting a cost reduction from each of the Pride Lands until Merlin Shapeshifter quests for 20, turn him sideways and win the game. The reason why this is a true infinite combo is because there's no reason to stop if you don't want to, unless your opponent's getting a little bit peeved. Technically, you can sit and bounce the snakes around and around and around until Merlin quests for 500, 600, 700,000. Whereas the other combos we've covered so far end when the lore total hits 20. Here, the lore total only hits 20 when Merlin quests, and you can keep looping the snakes around due to no instant speed interaction from your opponent as long as you like. So there we have it. Absolutely unplayable, but our first true infinite combo in the game. And honestly, it's in a couple of colors that, you know, can work together, low to the ground stuff that can work together. Really, that Shapeshifter and the fact that you need both Pride Lands and both Simbas sitting separately is the only thing that's really breaking this. It is a color combo that works well together, and cards from a sort of low to the ground aggro deck, so it's not a million miles away from being unplayable. But the chance of all of this landing and surviving until turn 6 or 7, when you're actually going to be able to pop the combo off, is very, very slim. Still, a fun one. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Until the next one, be good.